They did, through Rush. Goal kick. Nothing's going Everton's way now, and the men in the white coats tell the story on the scoreboard. And what they're really saying is that Liverpool Football Club now seems certain to follow in the wake of Tottenham Hotspur and Arsenal as the only clubs to win the First Division Championship and the FA Cup in the same season this century. There is under 5 minutes to go, and here's Dalglish. Don't say they're going to score again. Johnston. Nicol. Foul by Peter Reid as frustration creeps in among the Everton ranks. Well, when they were leading 1-0 and might have made it 2, you wouldn't have put very much store by the fact that Liverpool were going to score 3. But score them they have, with Mulvey so instrumental in this powerhouse second-half performance by the Reds. Here's Stephen for Everton. Heath got away from McDonald there. Now, Sharp. Robillard will have to stretch.
What a turnaround, John, from the moment when Grobbelaar there on the ball now was so upset, grumbling, 1-0 down, having let in the first goal, and all of a sudden it's joy for Liverpool, and Everton have disappeared from the scene. I wouldn't hold much hope for your bet of a draw at extra time now, at the end of the time.
Sharp to Heath, looking for Stephen. Lineker's in the centre. Nicol needs to clear. Oh dear me, Trevor Stephen there lost his way, and Rush found Whelan. Now, I wouldn't give much hope for the bet either, but I'm not complaining, Jimmy. It's one of the most attractive and compulsive FA Cup finals that we've had the privilege of commentating on.
Indeed, and you've talked about Jan Mulvey, but what about Ian Rush there? We talked about him being a greyhound at the start of the match, but that last move, he started and got on the end of it. Quite tremendous. Like Skirlow Champ, I think, is the present wonder of the greyhound track.
And Johnston goes down just outside the area, nothing given. It was a through ball by Nicol that put him on his way. And never has "You'll Never Walk Alone" been sung with more gusto. There are 3 minutes now. Dalglish, the player-manager, on the verge of yet another phenomenal achievement. And leading from the front, taking them on. Craig Johnson has got cramp. Dalglish has lost a boot. The fans are checking their watches.
And you've lost a bet.
Well, I'm only pleased. I'm just relieved I haven't lost my voice, actually. Because this has been a quite gripping second half. And all Liverpool's tradition and experience and know-how over what, 22, 23 seasons has come not just to their aid here, it's put them on the verge of an historic achievement. And nobody would argue with their right to be in this position. Certainly not those people. Two minutes, Johnston. Well, normally at this stage we're looking at the excited manager on the bench about perhaps to win the cup. You can't do that this year because he's on the field. Well, the celebrations away to my left have started in earnest. There's a party going on up there. It's the old shout of E.I. Adio, we've won the cup. And I must give full marks to my co-commentator. He said that the substitution by Everton was a dangerous thing to do. Rather than save the game, the match has actually gone further beyond them since Heath came on. We're in the last minute of the match. This is Sharp for Everton. Heath was running offside there. They've had to check. Liverpool are keeping a solid line. Johnston is having an inspired time. Reed. Heath helps it on. This is Trevor Stephen. Lineker and Sharp are waiting in the centre. It's Stephen still. And he plays it back to Reed. And now it's Ratcliffe. And Big Morby tries to get a foot in, and Liverpool might break again. There's an extra man here. Dalglish played it beautifully to Rush. Kevin McDonald is free on the far side. Dalglish is on this side. And he passed the ball to where he thought McDonald might have gone. And in fact, he checked his run, and lots of Liverpool fans would have loved to have seen Dalglish have a go himself there. The referee has checked with his linesman. We are entering stoppage time. Liverpool lead by 3-1. This is Adrian Heath for Everton. And it comes off Mark Lawrenson for a corner. Heath. Bracewell chips it. Grobbelaar goes for beautifully taken. Off Mountfield's head. Like picking a plum off a tree. It's confirmed from Scotland that Aberdeen have lifted the trophy there. Mims having to play centre-half. But Liverpool here are poised for something much greater than that. Morby, Dalglish, Morby, play on, and is Rush going to score a hat-trick? He's through again. Oh, he was just a bit too casual. That could have been the first FA Cup final hat-trick, I think, since Stan Mortensen in '53. Bracewell has found Lineker offside.
Just thinking, as the game has gone on, Ian Rush and Liverpool have become stronger in their running power, and Gary Lineker and Everton really have faded in that striking force up front.
Isn't that just Liverpool down the years, though, Jimmy? Stronger in the championship race too on the final straight. And Liverpool Football Club, under their player manager Kenny Dalglish, have become only the third team this century to win the First Division Championship and the FA Cup, the marvellous double in the same season. A wonderful achievement, born out of a superb and so typical second half recovery by Liverpool today. The facts are those: one down until 57 minutes had gone, but then the reply. And what can you say now about this tremendous club? 31 prizes in 23 seasons. But now, following Tottenham in 1961 and Arsenal in 1971, they are the first northern club to win the double since Preston North End in 1889. And they add another to the long list of monumental achievements that they've struck up since the late Bill Shankly got hold of this club in the early 60s. Supporters thought they'd seen it all. They've won European Cups, and as always there has to be sadness. And Everton, who were good for their lead at half-time, and I have to say might easily have gone 2-0 up in the first 10 minutes of the second half. That shouldn't be forgotten. But when you talk about recoveries, and Bob Paisley's seen a few of those, and indeed he's inspired a few of them from his manager's chair. Look at that shot. That's the best picture of the afternoon. The continuity, which is the byword at Anfield, has been proven again. There were those who had doubts when they gave Kenny Dalglish the job last summer. My goodness me, how they've proved the doubters wrong. And Liverpool win the FA Cup for only the third time. It'll be the captain, Alan Hansen, who goes up to get it. There's no way he'll let Dalglish go first, and nor should he really. They've had tremendous moments in Europe. They've had success here in the League Cup. They've won 16 championships, 8 in 11 years, but never before have they won the league and cup double, and now the moment is here. What a consolation for Alan Hansen in the week he was left out of the Scotland World Cup party. These cheers, sweet music to his ears, and to those of Liverpudlians everywhere. Liverpool have won the double. And the two Scots, Hansen and Dalglish, who played against each other years ago up north of the border, well, they've had a terrific time since they came south with this club. Hansen, who came just before the cup final in '77, Dalglish, who came that same summer as a replacement for Kevin Keegan, Craig Johnston, the goal scorer. Celebrations all round. Steve McMahon, the sub there, didn't get a sniff of the action, but Ian Rush certainly did. 2 goals, it might have been 3. Kevin McDonald didn't know he was playing until lunchtime, and Jan Mulby, who, well, it'll be interesting to see what the experts say. I thought he was possibly more influential than anybody else in the way this match turned upside down. Everton then, winners 2 years ago, go up as losers for the 2nd consecutive year. Typical that of the Liverpool spirit. Sammy Lee there, not even in the 12. And a wonderful chant too from the Liverpool terrace of Merseyside, because that's what this occasion has been about. And to that degree, Everton have more than played their part in what turned out to be a more entertaining FA Cup final than most neutrals had predicted. And well refereed by Alan Robinson in his retirement season. Well, the Merseysiders quite rightly are taunting the Mancunians, because this is something that Manchester United and company have not achieved. The league and cup double in Kenny Dalglish's first season as the player-manager. No wonder they salute him now. Well, what is there new to say about Liverpool, Jimmy? On top for over 20 years, and today proving in front of Her Royal Highness that their football has a radiant smile as well.
Indeed, and a lot of people have tried to unravel the secret. There are certain things that they do that are different from other clubs. I mean, they buy players and put them in the reserves for 5 years, like Gillespie. And Everton, in a way, have imitated that. They've begun to do that kind of thing recently and building in the same way. There's no magic about their training. They play a lot of five-a-side, and so do a lot of other clubs. The secret doesn't seem to be there. It is, as you've said, I think, in the continuity, but also in that tremendous spirit which you can feel from those players on the pitch as they're celebrating. They really are friends. They really are part of a team, and you take on one, you take on the lot and the whole club.
Yes, there are no superstars at Anfield, are there? They're all treated the same. They are a down-to-earth club in every sense. They eat off the set meal menu when they're in the hotel. There's nothing fancy about them. I was there on Thursday night, and the backroom staff just drink their half of lager and tell you there's no secret, really. Yeah.
Well, I think one of the secrets, a star they had in Graham Souness, and I think it took Jan Mulby a season. I think that was their quiet season last time round, to acclimatise himself to the rather different pace of the English League. And I think he has done that and emerged today as a superstar in his own right, but not allowed to say so, not as a Liverpool player.
Sporting smile from Peter Reid, who made the first goal, but an even wider grin from a man who was voted Manager of the Year yesterday in only his first season in the job, but still finds time to get out on the pitch and produce the goods. And if you can reflect on Liverpool's season, it's when Dalglish brought himself back into the side for the big games that things really began to buzz. Craig Johnston, whose goal was the one that put the match within Liverpool's control. And what about this man's contribution? Jan Molby of Denmark, but an adopted Scouser now. He's even got the accent.
It makes you think where they get their players from. They're not all English, are they, by any means? You mentioned the two Scots, the two brilliant ones at the start. One born in South Africa, another Dutchman. It's a wide spread, and perhaps explains at times why the England team doesn't always follow the achievements of clubs like Liverpool and Everton in Europe and places like that. And of course an Irishman there. What a talented one. And of course Bruce from Zimbabwe, which we have to say now, although when he was born there it was called something different.